Okay, so before we introduce everyone, I have a real fun game to actually introduce you all. So I've got some Panini Euro 2020 stickers in my hand, right?
Ooh.
And we're all poor, right? All of us are poor. So if you can guess one of the players in this pack, I will give one of you £5.
Oh.
I don't have £10, so if you both get one right, you're gonna have to share £2.50. And if you all get it right, it's £1 each. So, oh no, that's not maths. It's like just over £1 each. So
You can't guess your own ones, Ollie.
pardon? I'm not guessing. I'm not guessing. Oh, look at that. David, who are you guessing's in this pack?
I'm going to go for Yilmaz.
I hate to break it to you. I just got him in the pack open before this, but that's fine. That's
Oh,
actually
no!
fine. No, but that was a different set. That was a different set. It could be. So David, the Chelsea fan, has gone for Yilmaz. Sean, the Liverpool fan, who have you gone for?
So what's this pack? Is this a?
It's a Euro 2020 sticker pack.
Oh, Euro 20. I missed that bit. I am going to go for Mason Mount.
That's a good shout. I haven't seen Mason Mount yet. Tom, who are you going for? Tom, the Tottenham fan, who are you going for?
Let's go for Paul Pogba.
Oh, that's a good shout. Max, the other North London fan, who are you going? Barnet? No, Arsenal.
First of all, really don't appreciate being called the other North London. I opened a pack the other day. I was torn between guessing Kieran Tierney or half of the cup itself, but I'm going half of the cup itself.
That's actually such a good shout. Right, you ready? Do you know what? If you guess, if one of them is the first one, I'll give you a tenner.
Come on, Yilmaz. Come on, Yilmaz. Don't let me down.
Oh, Pogba.
I'm really sorry. I'll be back in 1 second. I've just got to get the door.
Imagine if he got it right as well. We just won't tell him. Oh my god! One of you is so close.
Oh no!
Right, the first sticker, I got one of those double ones. It was Harry Maguire and Kieran Trippier.
Oh, no.
We have, fuck yeah, with Thomas Delaney. David knows how much I love Thomas Delaney.
You love Thomas Delaney.
Steve Mandanda, fucking useless goalkeeper. Kamel Glick. Oh, I've got 3 of him. I don't want him. Stuart Armstrong. Well, that was shit, wasn't it? Because none of you won. Don't know why we bother. Don't know why we bother having fun on this. Managed to win.
Yilmaz, you disappointment.
But anyway, this is our first annual Premier League Awards.
Hey!
Ooh!
Oh, you sounded so depressed.
I hope we're all suited and booted as if we're at the actual dinner for it.
Do you know what? We've been preparing for this for about 2 months now.
Oh, yeah.
I set the categories 2 months ago and not last night.
Literally.
But like I said, I'm a Burnley fan. We've got David, who's a Chelsea fan. These are all people you know. If you listen, you know. If you don't listen, you probably don't know them. And we've got Sean, who's the biggest Bobby Firmino fan in the world.
Wait.
We've got Tom, who loves and hates Kieran Trippier.
And Ukraine. He loves Ukraine.
Oh, he loves Ukraine.
Oh, yeah, gotta love Ukraine.
Why didn't you go for a Ukraine player? Are they even in it? Yeah, they are.
I mean, I could have. I mean, they're not even in it, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they are, aren't they? I don't really know many Ukraine players right now.
You could have gone for the badge. You could have said the Ukraine badge.
Could have done, but at least I don't know any players right now.
And we got Max, who is the biggest Barnet fan.
Oh, Barnet? I mean, I talk about Barnet all the time. I could tell you loads of things about Barnet, like the fact that they play in orange.
Who's your favourite Barnet player?
Oh, my favourite Barnet player?
Off the cup.
Too many to choose from, if I'm honest. There's like 11 of them on the field at one time. It's so difficult.
You know those 3 players they bought on in one half? Unreal.
Oh, wow. Tell you what, the manager certainly looks like a manager.
Mr. Manager, I hear his name.
Oh yeah.
So the way this is going to work, I was going to count them. We have many categories, more than 5. And so I think we're just going to take turns going first. So basically, I've told everyone to take each category of however they want to do it. So there's no like rules. So that probably doesn't make sense. But as we go on, that will make more sense. Right? Does everyone understand that?
I'm on it.
I
Yeah.
didn't understand
so.
it when you gave me the questions, but I understand it now.
All right, go back to Barnet, you piece of
I've
shit.
got an answer for all bar one question. One question I got really stuck on, but I got an answer for everything.
Was it best player? Because you can't. If you put Firmino, there's no
You'll
going
be
back.
kicked off the stream for that.
Yeah. Right, and I think there's only. Should we start big or should we start small?
I was
Gotta
wondering
start
where you were
big.
going to start. I was wondering
Right.
where you were going to start.
We're going to start with. Okay, so they come in like 2s. So we're going to start with worst manager of the season.
Sean Dyche.
All right.
Wow.
Who said that? Who said that?
Wow.
Do you know what? I'm just going to stick to me and Dave next time. You can piss off.
Sorry, Ollie.
Oh, there's no apologies here. So I'll start with this one, and then we'll miss out Tom on everyone now.
Oh, come
That's
on.
awful.
So, I mean, there was only one real answer for this. There's only been one underachieving. Well, there's been many underachieving managers this year, but there's been one that has like stuck out, and people just don't. I mean, half people think he's shit, and the other half think he's fine. And his name changed halfway through the season.
Oh, I knew it! I knew you were going to say it!
I started off thinking his name was Mikhail. Then I thought his name was Mikkel. But now it's fucking Mickle. Who's Mickle Arteta? Yeah, I mean, they've just been poor. I'm sorry. Like, look at that. I was getting all mixed up with your teams. Fucking hell. Max, look where you are in the table.
Right.
Look how much money you spent.
If I'm
Look at
perfectly
your
honest
manager's name. It's Mickle.
Mickle is not. There's far bigger problems than Mickle.
Who?
Whoa.
Pickle.
Pickle's been poor this season, to be fair, in the scouting department. But no, there's bigger problems ahead of Mikel Arteta. I actually personally, I don't really know. It kind of wavers each week whether I like him or not. But I think when he picks the right team, he makes some awful decisions. But I think you have to give him that
How
as
could
a
you
young
not
man.
he makes awful decisions. Isn't that
No,
the thing of a worst manager of the season?
But he learns. I think he learns from it. And the one thing I like about him, he's never
He's a
changed.
slow learner. Is he set 5 for manager studies?
No, he's a visual learner, all right. He's a visual learner. But no, I think there's far worse than him
Like
in the
who?
league this year. Well, do you want to hear my answer now?
Pardon?
Do you want to hear mine now?
Yeah, go on. You're
Well,
talking.
there is one who is far worse, to the point where he didn't make it to the end of the season, and that is Jose Mourinho.
Oh, of course.
That was fair. That was my second choice.
I think if you were to compare him in comparison to like when you look at Mourinho as an experienced manager, first of all, who was beautiful when he came to the Premier League. Now look at him. He looks a shadow of his former self, and he deserved the sack, and he was absolutely dreadful. The football was so boring, and even Tottenham fans, I'm not sure about you, Tom, but I think it was a disgrace to watch. It was so boring.
Mate, I wanted him out for a long time, mate. Trust me. I'm glad he's gone.
Well, you wouldn't believe it looking at our group chat, Tom.
Yeah, get him out! Get him out!
Right,
The football's shit.
Tom, I don't think it's any surprise whose yours is going to be.
Well, oh yeah, I went for Mourinho as well. To be honest with you, I honestly, the season obviously we had, obviously towards near like, sort of like halfway, we were just really put up. And we had such a good start as well. And it's just the football was just awful, really, really awful. And I was like, you know how much like Levy admired Mourinho when he first took charge, and. Oh, it was just. I'm glad he's gone because he just overachieved and he underachieved. Sorry, and he hasn't come away with a trophy, and unfortunately, he just wasn't the right man to take us forward. I'm afraid.
Do you think if he was manager of that cup final, do you think you would have won it?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough. I mean, Mourinho obviously is a specialist in these cup finals, but it's against the Man City team who have been unbelievable this season. And even if Mourinho was in charge, I still think City would have won it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think he would have been. Like I said to you, David and Ollie, before, I reckon he could have been the best choice to lead the Tottenham team out for that final ahead of Ryan Mason. But I think it probably. Obviously, I think we could have created more chances, but I still didn't think we would. Any other manager, I still didn't think we could have won that game. To be honest, but obviously with the players that we had on the pitch, like Aurier, for example, not a few other players that weren't good enough on the day. So,
Right, Sean, worst manager of the season.
So I'm making it hard. I just think for Mourinho, the fact that that Tottenham have got rid of an experienced manager like Mourinho to bring in is Ryan Mason 29 or 30?
29, yeah, he's 29.
I think that says it all. The fact that a guy who was meant to come in and like change Spurs around and win trophies has ended up getting sacked when they've not even had anyone available. And Ryan Mason,
I'll have he's got it into the Conference League.
Oh, brilliant.
What's that?
I'll have he's got into the Conference League. So
Dynamo Brest away, lads. Come on.
I do apologise. No, I just think the fact that Ryan Mason is the one that's taken the job says all you need. What Mourinho did at Tottenham.
Do you know what? I'm gonna make the Europa Conference League the award ceremony music.
Oh.
Ooh.
Do you know what? Actually, Tom, are you singing it? I think that trumps it. Actually.
Yeah, I think so. I think that should be the theme tune.
Did you actually sing it, Tom? I thought that was it, wasn't it?
It probably is.
The budget doesn't seem massive on the Conference League, to be fair. So if you do get a call, don't be surprised.
Yeah, honestly, I'm waiting
I'll
for that.
send a clip off to UEFA, Tom.
Yeah.
Right, David, come on.
I've gone with you, Ollie. I've gone for Mikel Arteta.
Oh,
It's got to be Lampard, isn't it?
And yeah, Lampard. You've got to admit Lampard's got to be up there. I'm not clouding over the fact that Lampard's got to be in the conversation for this because he was poor. And when you see what Tuchel's done with the squad, it's clear that Lampard was a big problem to why we weren't getting the results that we should have been getting. And I think if we'd had Tuchel from the start of the season, I don't think we would have won the league, but I think we would have been much more in the conversation than, say, Man United would have been. But I've gone for Mikel Arteta.
sorry, who?
Oh, Mikel.
Oh, sorry, I got confused then.
I've gone for Mikel Arteta because I don't know what he does. And the fact that he's managed to blackmail Arsenal fans into believing he's a good manager is... I mean, maybe he shouldn't get that skill because I don't know what he's got.
Sorry, David. Can I just interrupt and say that we haven't been blackmailed because I have received nothing. I have received absolutely nothing but hurt.
But
Max,
Yes,
do you think he's going to be the manager next season?
I do. Yeah.
I just
do.
don't get why Arsenal fans rate him so much. Honestly,
I wouldn't necessarily say that I rate him. I wouldn't say I rate him, but I would say that almost the same thing with I think Sean was saying about Tottenham. I think if you get rid of Mikel Arteta right now, who takes that job? Who brings a team? I think that set of players in particular. I don't think anyone can kind of do much with that. I think the little victory is that in a weird way he has sorted out our defence, and our second half of the season is way better than I think it's actually really been recognised. It's kind of weird.
I just don't get him, honestly. Arsenal fans just seem to lord him up. And I'm not saying this directly to you, Max. When you look at the majority of Arsenal fans,
Max, it's all your fault.
They're all honestly, he walks into the next and buys a good jumper and they're like, oh my God, manager of the season quality. He is so good, honestly.
He's a good jumper.
David, do you know how much he spends on that jumper? A mickle.
But I just don't understand it. And I think embarrassed in the semi-final, and I know they beat Man United last night, but they're a poor team. Over 2 legs, they embarrassed you.
Oh, that was the kind of like the point for me where I was like, maybe not. But then for some reason we were really good in our last 3 Premier League games.
Because the pressure's not on. The pressure's not on them.
I know.
And it failed in the FA Cup this year. 8th in the league. Very lucky to be 8th in the league, I think. I think it's only because it's above
Hearing
you.
all of that is making me happy.
Genuinely, I was on the bus the other day, and that's not where the story ends.
Yeah.
Way! No, I was on the bus the other day,
Right.
and this was just before the end of the season, and I had no idea that we could even still finish as high as 7th. I was thinking, 11th, we'll have to take it. It's nothing to play for. When I found out on the last day there was something to play for, I was like, what? I hadn't checked the table in so long. I thought we were written off. Turns out everyone else was actually awful as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
There was one point where you were above Tottenham on the last day.
Yeah.
So yeah, my award goes for Mikel Arteta.
So I don't know if we're working it out on if there's like a majority, but I think Jose takes that one as worst manager of the season. It's official. He's hated by everyone with Mikel in second.
Well done, Jose. Fully deserved, mate.
You get
Bloody fraud.
You get whatever sticker I've just picked up. Camille Glick one is coming your way. And on the other hand of that, we've got best manager of the season, otherwise known as manager of the season. So I'll let you go first, David, and we'll go the other way.
I did this on another podcast as well, and I went for David Moyes. I think when you look at the job he's done, it's not just a case of how high he's finishing in the table. It's the fact that what I think he's done so well at West Ham, which other managers haven't done in the last few years, is he's cleared out all the egos, all the players that think they're too good, and he's just brought in players that want to fight for the badge. And he's got, I think, a really, really solid team at West Ham. And he's built that in less than a season. To finish 6th ahead of Tottenham and Arsenal, I think it's a terrific achievement. They had no right to finish in the Champions League places, and I don't think it's a failed season that they didn't get Champions League football. I still think it's a fantastic season. If you'd said to West Ham fans at the start of the season that they'd be in Europa League places, I don't think even they would have believed you.
They're not even in the shittest European tournament next year.
And that's what I mean. So I think he's just been so good, and I genuinely think next season they could even push on a little bit more. If they need a couple of quality players in there, they need to keep hold of players like Rice and Souček, and I think they've got a really good team next year. So for me, I know some of you might go with Guardiola, but I think it's the easy choice. And I think you've got to look at the scale of the job and everything around it, and that's why I think I've gone for David Moyes.
All right, Sean.
Fair shout. Okay, I've kind of done this to be really, really controversial because I know
he's put Klopp in.
Believe it or not, it actually isn't. So I've gone for Marcelo Bielsa.
The Bielsa award.
Well, Leeds are the best attacking team in the world.
Not the best attacking team in the world, they're the best team in the world.
So, reason being, I just think
Sorry, I'm trying to find the kick.
Listening to this podcast and like other podcasts, I think there is like a bit of there's obviously the people who think Leeds get too much attention and the other people who think actually like people are too harsh on them. But the thing I always say is look at the other 2 teams who got promoted this year, West Brom and Fulham. They were both relegated with like 3 or 4 games to go. Leeds were in the exact same position. They've come up. I know people say, oh, like they're leaky at the back and stuff like this, but it's a cliche, and I know you're going to laugh, but they do play quality football, and they get results playing quality football. They've beaten good teams. You know, they've got points against Liverpool. They won against City. They've got some big results along the way, and I just think the way he sets up his team, like it's kind of Marmite. You love it or hate it, but I think he's been absolutely brilliant. And I think for a promoted team to finish 9th, I mean, that doesn't happen very often. I know you get the odd example, but I think he's been superb. I think Moyes and Guardiola have probably possibly topped him, but I wanted to be a little bit controversial this one, I must admit.
Well, you bloody achieved that, Sean. Tom, please save the day.
I've been a bit boring, and I've gone for Guardiola because obviously what a job honestly he's done this season. City have they started quite poorly like this season, really poor. Like they got beaten 5-2 by Leicester, and they lost 2-0 to us, and I think they were like 11th at one point. And I'm thinking, wow, what's going on with City? Is Pep really gonna show like is he really finished as a manager? But I think he gave trust to like obviously John Stones again, but along with like Ruben Diaz, who's been honestly alongside John Stones, he's been absolutely brilliant. And City, I think, won the title because they went on like a winning run that I think was about 20 games, I think. And I think 20, and that's what really won them the league. And I think he's given players like Foden a chance to really shine. Obviously, when David Silva left last season to go join the Real Sociedad, I feel like Phil Foden could really fill in David Silva's shoes, and I think he's done it. Like so far, obviously, I know it's been like one season that Foden has had proper, but he's got the potential to be so much better. Like in his next few years, if he stays at City, and I think he's given players like Gundogan and Mahrez more of a chance on the pitch because obviously I think in the like the first sort of 2 years that I think Gundogan and Mahrez have been at City, I think they really struggled to fulfil their potential there. But I think this season, I think what Guardiola does, he gives players a chance to fulfill what they can do, and I think that's what they've shown in Mahrez and Gundogan. They're most improved players in the Premier League without a doubt. Gundogan's been absolutely brilliant. He gets goals as well for City, creates a lot, really controls the midfield. And Mahrez, you just can't get the ball off him. I think obviously Mahrez was a great player at Leicester, and and then obviously a great move for him to go to City. I think he did struggle a little bit when he first came, but I think what Guardiola does, he improves players. And Zinchenko as well, he's been given more of a chance under Guardiola, and I think he's been key towards City going into the Champions League final. So obviously after a bad start from City in the season, going on that winning run, giving these players a chance, I think he definitely deserves manager of the season. Now he's won the league, he's won the League Cup, and now he's into a Champions League final. So I'm afraid that's my obvious choice. That's my obvious choice for me.
Right. Max, come on.
Well, it's not so controversial. I agree with pretty much everyone so far. I think all of the managers mentioned have been phenomenal, but I've also gone David Moyes just because I think the job he's done there, first of all, to go back and save them from relegation last season, pull them out the depths, and then to construct a team, as David said, over the summer, a team of players that want to play for him. He's bought all the signings. I can't think of one West Ham signing this season that hasn't come good. He's even got rid of like Sebastian Haller, who was like their profile signing 2 years ago. And I don't know, they've just to finish 17th last year and to do what he's done this year. I don't even think he's the best manager in the world. I think he's emulating exactly what he did at Everton. Souček is just his new Fellaini in a way. He's emulating pretty much exactly what he did there, but I think I don't know. I just can't imagine anyone else doing that job at West Ham this season. I think it's just been phenomenal. I can't really add any more, to be honest.
Well, I've also gone for Moisey. I don't need to say any more. Do you know what? I can't remember if I said it on the podcast or just to you, Dave. When he first came in and there was like a lot of confusion, I said to you, well, at least he'll sort their defence out and stop them leaking goals. I didn't realise he'll get them all the way up into Europa League spots.
No, he's done a great job.
He's done an absolutely brilliant job. And David Moyes, for getting all the votes besides 2, you have won a Slovakian badge sticker. So that will be coming in the post to you soon, Moisey.
I mean, he'll be chuffed to bits for that.
Well, it's not all the managers want. Bielsa, well, I think it should be the Bielsa Slovakia sticker, but
well, hopefully he can bring it to Slovakia when they play there in the Europa League next year.
Well, there we go. Well, I don't know, probably Conference League, Max.
Oh yeah, he'll hand it over to Ryan Mason.
Sake.
Right. So next we have the category for the funniest moment of the season.
I was so excited.
I was expecting someone to make like a sarcastic cheer or something.
Hey.
Right,
Not as good when you have to ask for it, is it?
No. Does anyone want to go first on this one? No.
Oh, there must be some funny moments in here.
I'll happily go first on this one. This one's a bit of a private one, and we kind of spoke about it earlier, but it did feature someone in this call right now, and it kind of went through all the emotions during a certain game of football between Tottenham and West Ham, and it started at half time with messages that included Jose Mourinho is the one. He's the one that's going to save us. We could actually win something under Jose Mourinho. These are messages that I'm looking at right now. And then about 45 minutes later, oh, for goodness sake, this was always going to happen. Oh, why do we bother with this system? Nothing gave me more joy this season than Thomas White, our own Thomas White. Going on voice note rants after 45 minutes of them being 3-0 up in the 80th minute and calling Jose Mourinho the best manager they've ever had.
Ollie, don't forget, this football is sexy.
All right.
Tom, you're on for a sticker here, mate.
Yeah, I got a bit carried away, didn't I?
A bit?
Yeah.
Tom, you've achieved something because you gave me my favourite, funniest moment of the season. Honestly, I even shared that moment with my family. I enjoyed it that much.
Did you? Well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, at least I'm like for something then.
I'm not sure how I feel about this because you've been playing this award ceremony for so long, as far back as that game. I can't help but feel like Tom might have been playing for the sticker the whole time.
Yeah, literally.
Max, you're not meant to expose the podcast. Like, we're meant to be pretending that we do it on a Friday live as well. I mean, we do it on a Friday live. We're meant to pretend we do it on a Thursday. All right, who's next? Who wants to take the position next?
I think I've got one.
God, hope you did that one.
I mean, it might come under like sort of embarrassing moment, but I think this was quite funny. What about Alisson's performance against Manchester City at Anfield?
Oh yeah.
He kept keeping the ball away. Remember? And then I don't know if you. I don't know. There's another funny moment as well. Do you remember Carragher in the commentary? When Alisson nearly gave it away. Ooh.
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Jamie, he went. Ooh.
How things have improved.
Oh, I think that was pretty funny. I mean, you don't want to wish upon a keeper, but like to make two mistakes, I think honestly, and to lead to City's goals, honestly, like you meant to be a top class keeper.
I mean, it's even funnier making two mistakes in a game when you haven't made one for 3 years as well.
I was gonna go for funniest moment for me. I was gonna go for my goal for Horsham Crusaders last week. My first ever goal where I ran through. I went to kick it in my right foot, completely missed the ball. The keeper kicked it against my left hand, and then I ran on the line to kick it in my left foot and ran off like I'd scored the World Cup winner when we were 5-1 up at the time. But I know. Okay, this is gonna sound like I'm just hating on Arsenal, but it's just fucking funny because Arsenal. It's just Arsenal is so shit, and I love it. It has to be Unai Emery knocking out Arsenal, isn't it? It has to be like the guy that Arsenal
Good evening.
ridiculed, and he's won the competition 4 times. And what club didn't he not win it with? Arsenal. Oh yeah, because Emery was clearly the problem. And I'm sorry, like when it finished 0-0 and they just panned on Emery, I was like, I'm sorry, this is what football dreams are for Liverpool fans. It really is. So I'm sorry, Max. It's not a hate on Arsenal. I've got no more Arsenal in my thing, but Unai Emery knocking out Arsenal for me has to be. It's Arsenal in Europe. Honestly, last year I said Olympiacos when they ran off celebrating, and then
that was my favourite moment of football in history.
Like this isn't even this wasn't even my funniest moment, but I think it is quite funny recalling back onto it. When that second leg was going on, I was at work, and one of my friends came in, and I was constantly going back and forth asking for the score, and they don't really follow football. So I went back, and it was like the 90th minute. I was like, "What's the score? What's the score?" And she said to me, "Oh, it's 1-0 to Arsenal." And I started freaking out at work. I was like, "Get in!" I came back out, and she told me she lied.
Oh,
I was fuming.
that is disgusting.
Yeah, that's
That
not
is
even funny. It was horrible. But I can go on to my actual funniest moment, which was during I can't remember who Arsenal were playing at the time, but I've kind of got two because one's really short. But this killed me. I don't know why. I remember do you remember when Danny Ceballos had that tiny little top knot like Ronaldo?
Yeah, that was one. That got me 10 likes on a tweet.
So I remember the camera panned in on him, and Martin Tyler claimed that Ceballos in a different life could have been a hairdresser, and I thought that was funny at first, but then I saw him getting so much beef for it on Twitter, so I was like, oh, it wasn't that bad a comment. But 2 weeks later, I remember the camera zoomed in on Danny Ceballos again, and Martin Tyler took the statement back. He was like, actually, he's not a hairdresser. And I just found that hilarious. That really shook him. For those 2 weeks, it's like, get me on the next Arsenal game.
Can I just say, it's also Martin Tyler when he was talking about Sean Dyche, and Sean Dyche had a nice white shirt
Oh
on.
my god!
And Martin Tyler goes, Mrs. Dyche must love his ironing. And then he went,
There's no reason why Sean Dyche can't do the ironing.
I mean, my other little one is I just found this hilarious. I don't know why I thought it's so minute, but you know how Bielsa does that squat on the touchline? Yeah, one time he just slightly fell over backwards, and it just killed me.
I'd happily give this award to Tom, if I'm being honest.
I haven't seen mine yet.
Yeah, Dave.
So,
Unless Sean's is going to be Tom. So
It's not amazing. It's another sort of private one. So when I was listening to a podcast, one of your podcasts a while ago, the Tottenham one, I was listening to it on a Friday, and you'd recorded it on the third, and it was David saying, "I think Tottenham are going to win the Europa League," and by the time I was listening to it, less than 24 hours later, they'd be knocked out. So I know technically it's not Premier League, but obviously involving the Premier League. And yeah, I must admit, I did laugh out loud. The way you said it as well, you said it with such confidence.
I know. With Mourinho in charge, you are favourites for this competition.
I've still got the recording on my phone of it.
It's a 442 metre special, this one. Love it.
Can I just say a personal, like a little one on the side? Do you know, I can't remember who City were playing, but you know this stupid thing where they lie someone down in the free kicks? But that one where I think it was Kyle Walker just kept picking up Zinchenko and like dragging him along the floor.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. That was a good one.
So we've got a draw. We've got how many of us are there? A 5-way draw. And seeming Tom, you're the only one address I've got. You have won. Hold on. You have won a Mignolet sticker.
Oh wow!
Hey, well
Great, thank you.
Right, the category we have got next is, hold on, I need to get my notes back up. The feel good moment, because we all like to feel good, right?
Feel good.
Yeah. I haven't had many of them this season.
We'll go with Sean first. Change it up.
Okay. So I have gone for Alisson Becker's 95th minute winner against West Bromwich Albion.
Oh.
Obviously, there's a little bit of bias there, but I think obviously what Alisson went through like this year with family reasons, things going on away from football, that moment to end up being the catalyst for Liverpool finishing in the top four, for a goalkeeper to score a 95th minute winner. I think you saw what it meant to him. You saw what it meant to all his teammates. And it really did sort of give a buzz watching. Obviously, I'm a fan, so I'm going to be excited. But I think there was a little bit of extra excitement at that moment, knowing what he's been through this year, what a nice guy he's sort of known to be. That was, and then obviously the big Klopp hug as well. That was, for me, that was slightly outrageous, funny, bizarre, but it was a feel-good moment as well.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sean. That's what I've got.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I've gone for that. I know at the time, like, I was a bit pissed off because obviously we're in the same, like, race with the top four. But I think just because it wasn't even like you see usually a goalkeeper scoring, like where it's like a huge kick or it falls to them in the box and they just lap out a foot. It was a fucking really good header, and
it was a quality.
So that's why I agree. I think as well with all the things going on as well, lack of form, personal issues. I think I agree with you. I think it's got to be Alisson scoring that goal.
Yeah,
that was a close second for me. However, mine doesn't really need much explanation. But for the second, no, you're going to be wrong. I know for a fact you're thinking wrong. But I've actually gone for the second time this season that fans are allowed into the stadium because it just felt great. Like for everyone to have fans in the stadium and to hear for the first time in 400 and something odd days, Burnley fans still not know what a chant is, but they can all still go me at the same time every time Ben Mee touches the ball. And it was just great, especially to go there a couple of days later and just like feel, even though I didn't get to go, but like feel like the buzz around the town, even though we got stuck 3-0 by Liverpool.
Yeah,
having the fans back is so much better. It
makes football so much more watchable, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. I thought you were gonna go for the Liverpool win.
Wow, I didn't want to bring it up twice in a. So we'll see. I almost went for the most relieved I've been all season was when we got that shitty win against Palace after about 8 games. So it almost was that. All right, who hasn't gone? Tom, do you want to go next?
I think the most feel-good moment. I think obviously, I think this is a player that felt like he wasn't not gonna get given much game time now, but now he made his loan move to West Ham. I've gone for Jesse Lingard. Because I felt like he wasn't getting enough game time at Man United. He was going through a lot of sort of issues behind football, and he's really performing he really performed on the pitch like halfway through the season, like since he came in, and he's been West Ham's probably one of West Ham's best players towards the end of the season, and the reason why they've finished as high as they did. So I've gone for. I know it's like obviously not a moment, but obviously I still went for Jesse Lingard for what he's done with West Ham and carrying them and stuff and playing to his potential again. So I've gone for Lingard.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
I agree with that completely.
That's such a good.
The thing is with Lingard, he divides opinion a lot, doesn't he? And for me, like all he is someone who just tries to enjoy life. And for me, in this day and age, you get hate for doing that. And obviously, he's a Manchester United player, so I'm not supposed to like him. I completely agree with that. I think it's actually really good to see him.
And then you look at like what he does out of football as well, like with his family. He looks after his siblings, doesn't he?
Yeah, he might do that, but it's all fun and games until he comes and dances on your home pitch. I Lingard. See, I think he seems like a nice guy. I agree with that. I think it's a lot of stick for being an out there personality.
Yeah.
But each their own.
Go on, Max.
Oh, yeah, I forgot I hadn't gone. No, it might be because it was recent in my memory, but I've gone for Aguero's last goals for City.
Oh, that's good call.
Do you know what, Max? That was going to be mine, but it was until I heard it with the commentary of Martin Tyler.
Oh,
Sergio Aguero!
Oh God, that did kind of. Watching the City documentary a few years ago, I always I think Aguero seems like this really nice, quiet, reserved guy, but he's obviously one of the best footballers in the world and one of the best that the Premier League has ever seen, and I think. To get those last 2 goals in a season where he hasn't got that much football, but I feel like he really showed his class. The first one, Everton had stopped playing, but that second one, the header was so unlike Aguero. I just thought it was such a nice moment, and I don't know, it made me feel good, which I suppose is why it's my feel good moment.
Right, that was actually a good shout. A lot of them were in my top 5, I think. But am I right in thinking Alisson got the most votes? He got 2 votes.
Yeah.
So Alisson. You don't have your own sticker, I'm afraid. However, you have won an Olivier Giroud sticker. You lucky boy.
Oh, poor guy.
Oh, I love Giroud. I'd have that on my wall.
It's coming your way, wherever you live, in the post. Right, I really want to go first on this next one because it's not even close. But I've got most embarrassing moment, and there's only one person who can be up for that all season. And I thought this guy was really talented for years, and I still think he is. But I think he has someone in his ear now. And my most embarrassing moment, he's had many this season. It all just adds up and goes to Martin Tyler. I don't know what's wrong with him. I feel like someone's like put someone in his ear. Like it all started going wrong when he went De Arby or like De Gea, De Bruyne, De Arby, and everyone just kind of looked and went, "Is he having a stroke?" I know he's like in his 70s, but you okay, Martin? And then everyone realised he made a joke, and then Gary Neville was like, "Oh, ha." Good one, Martin. And then obviously that whole thing where they made him go and like I don't know if any of you watched the before the City game on the last weekend against Brighton, and they had that really awkward interview with Sergio Aguero and Martin Tyler, where Martin Tyler went, "Well, hello, Sergio. This is the first time we've met, kind of." And Sergio just was like, "I don't really speak English that well, mate," and looked at him so strange. And then after talking for ages, he gave Sergio Aguero his like match notes from that QPR game, and he just sat there in silence and went, "Aguero!" while just standing next to him. It was so awkward. It's like someone had killed off Martin Tyler and like gone to I don't know Steve McManaman. You be Martin Tyler now. So yeah, Martin Tyler is my most embarrassing moment of the season, completely.
I didn't think of that, but I hate that I've chosen mine now because that is absolutely the correct answer in my eyes.
I don't
He's
know.
had
I
a
love
shocker.
Martin Tyler as well. I don't know what's happened to him.
I love him as well, but it just feels like I've never seen a commentator be out of form.
Maybe it was when, do you remember he got hit around the head when he was like, because he's like assistant manager at Woking, isn't he?
Yeah.
Remember he got attacked by a fan though? Maybe he just, knocked him a bit too hard.
It was Danny Ceballos after the hairdressing.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier with the hair thing and the Sean Dyche thing. I don't know. It's like he just turned into an old man overnight. Right, who else go next?
I can go. So, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm gonna go similar to in that I've gone for like one specific person over the season. I've gone for Mike Dean, like for the whole season, just the way he acts on the pitch. I just find it so bizarre, and I'm sort of linking it to a lot of the decisions he's made as well. And I can kind of say VAR is a sort of embarrassment over the season as well, and he's kind of the face of it, really. That's all I've got to say on that, really.
That's all that needs to be said, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say the less said about Mike Dean, the better, really.
Yeah.
Yes, enough for it.
Tom?
I think embarrassing moments. I think this was quite recently. I think the most embarrassing moment for me was when we played Leeds in the Premier League, and Harry Kane had a goal disallowed, which was quite clearly onside. It was not even close, and the VAR officials checked it for like a minute or two, and it was a clear goal. Like he was literally onside. It was level with the players. The Leeds defender was playing him on, and he got disallowed. And I'm literally like, what? I mean, this is what VAR. This is what VAR is. Like it's embarrassing. I mean, it's not just Kane's disallowed goal. It's every other decision. I remember like Villa. I remember when Liverpool had a goal disallowed against Villa, and I think Jota was well onside, and that got disallowed. I mean, VAR is meant to be there to make the correct decisions, but most of the time it's all incorrect anyway. So those officials who are behind the VAR need to be sacked ASAP, because it is embarrassing. I would say VAR is embarrassing the whole way through the season, especially. So yeah, VAR for me, honestly, no words.
Amen.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
That cup final for Leicester, when I celebrated like fucking mad.
David, honestly, you were like, oh, Sion-Chu, you're not smiling now, are you?
He fucking was.
Ridiculous.
So am I? Oh, David, was yours VAR as well?
No. I've
Oh,
gone.
no, he's got another one.
No, I've gone for a very different taste, and for me, it has to be the Big Six owners with this Super League.
Oh,
It has to be. That award has to go to them. Actually, I'm going to give this award to. I know we said Premier League, but I'm going to give this specifically to all the Big Six, but specifically to Perez. That guy planned 9 years for this Super League, and in 48 hours, it was in the water. And that, for me, was just an absolute embarrassment to football. The owners coming out and saying, "Oh, this is such a good idea; it's going to improve the game," and and I think they expected a fan backlash, but I don't think in any stretch of the imagination they thought that they get backlash from players, from managers, from the media, from pundits, from all walks of football. And it's just an embarrassing thing to try and do to our beautiful game. So for me, these owners need to have a long, hard look at themselves. So my embarrassing moment of the season is when they tried to ruin football and failed in less than 48 hours.
can we all agree that's the winner?
Oh yeah.
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 I mean, mine looks
VAR's
really
got
trivial.
close second.
Yeah. What did you going to say, Max?
Mine looks a little bit more trivial now that David's given the most beautiful speech. Mine is every time I have to watch Dan Burn play left back because I feel second-hand embarrassment because he just doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right. You see left backs these days getting up and down the pitch. Dan Burn can't do that. I think he's a good player. I think he's a good player. But it's something about watching him up against Pepe the other day. I just felt sorry for the guy. It didn't look right. It was okay when Peter Crouch was up top. Like, put him in the middle. I don't know. It's just something about it. It's just I feel embarrassed for him. He never looks comfortable.
It's like when there's a small goalkeeper, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, if Steve Mandanda was playing in the Premiership, it would have gone to him. But
I've got a Steve Mandanda sticker. Shit. Well, Dan Burn, it's coming your way, mate.
But yeah, I don't think that's the winner. But I just feel sorry for Dan Burn.
We've got a type for the podcast. Sorry, Dan Burn. So are we going to give it to the ESL and Perez?
I don't really want to give them an award.
Well, if there's one person that stuck up against the ESL more was Kiefer Moore, and that's exactly who Perez is going to get in the post. So Kiefer, you're on your way to Madrid, mate. Right, I'm glad we sorted that one. So next we have. Okay, I'm looking forward to this one. Worst goal of the season.
My goal versus Liverpool.
I've gone exactly the same. I wasn't even there, but I've heard all of it. So yeah, I said.
David Summerfield versus Slimfold is the worst goal of the season.
Didn't you say you handballed it as well, but the ref didn't?
So basically what happened was I was running through and I'd never been that far up the pitch in my life. And I had the ball, I played out to the left-hand side and then it got played into the middle. And I was like, Jamie, play me on in. And he chipped it up. So I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Had to head the ball. And I was like, it was coming down. I was like, I'm going to smash this into the back of the net. What goal is this going to be? Completely missed it with my right foot. And then the keeper kicked it. It hit my left arm, rolled along right onto the goal line. And then I literally tapped it in with my left foot just as it was about to roll over the line, literally on David Nugent territory. And then I ran off doing the Mbappe celebration, the Daniel Sturridge. It was all that, and I was just like, and then I went up to my manager and I cut the ear and went, "Oh, what are you saying now?" So I'm going to give that award to myself, actually. David Summerfield versus Slimfold for Horsham Crusaders is the worst goal of the season.
I raise you, Chris Wood against Arsenal. It just doesn't really get much worse than that. Xhaka was under no pressure at all. He's had to roll the ball along the floor, but he was like, you know what? Chris Wood has a nice Kiwi chest. I'm going to put it right there. And it was. Do you know? Arguably, it could have been my best goal of the season because I don't think there was many goals I celebrated more than that one.
I think that's the most Burnley goal of all time, isn't it?
And then when Chris Wood went off waggling his finger to the empty away stand, it was like poetic justice. But yeah, Chris Wood. Arguably, the award should go to Xhaka, but it would go to Chris Wood, I'm afraid.
Go on, Tom.
Does this include own goals?
Of course, it encourages.
I mean, this only happened last week, but Sergio Reguilon, what the fuck? What is that? I mean, it was a great goal, but it was the wrong end, mate. I mean, Makamba gets the ball in, and then Reguilon mixed kick it, and then it went, and then it beat Lloris, and I was literally like, okay, like I've summed up Reguilon in these past few weeks because he's been awful for us lately, and I think that really because he's low on confidence at the moment, and seeing that as well has really caught his confidence down the dumps, honestly. But yeah, I think Reguilon wins the worst goal of the season for me.
Right, Max.
What have I got? Oh, I went for this one just because it goes against everything I've ever believed in football, and it kind of goes back to VAR. But it's the Bruno Fernandes penalty against Brighton that happened after the final whistle was blown. I think that I don't
that's
know.
a good shout.
I just think it wasn't. Surely it's not a goal. It's the worst goal because it shouldn't have been a goal. I know it was a handball. And I think it was actually Dan Byrne who handballed it, so apologies, Dan.
If he was average height,
exactly. But he wasn't playing left back that day. But no, I don't know. It just really, it probably annoyed me more because it was a Man United penalty specifically. But it just, I don't know, it went against everything that I understood about the game. When the whistle's blown, the game's over.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So yeah, that's all I've got on that. It just really upset me.
Imagine if VAR, the full-time whistle went and VAR crashed, and then they had to get the tech team out. So that was like another 2 to 4 hours. And then and then they got it working, and they gave the penalty. Would they have to all come back and retake the penalty?
Well, that's another thing. I thought I rewatched it yesterday, and I thought what if fans were in the stadium, and some of them started to leave, and then all of a sudden, oh, don't worry, guys, play on! It was, I don't know. It was, and also how the ref blew the whistle immediately after the penalty and didn't let a kick-off happen. Surely you let a kick-off happen. Oh, it just annoyed me.
All right, so who are we giving the...
I got 2 votes, so I'm having a sticker.
All right, David, you have won a sticker of the Finland team celebrating a goal.
Oh, dreams are made of it.
Unfortunately, I don't have a second Kiefer Moore. I know that's the one that everyone wanted. All right, so we've had worst goal. It makes sense to go on to best goal. It's amazing how these things work.
I think we're going to be unanimous here.
Go on.
Shall I start us off?
Yeah, go for it.
It's got to be Eric Lamela against.
That's mine as well.
I don't think there is any. I don't think any other goal can get anywhere near it. If I'm honest, the skill to be able to in that moment, the speed of thought to be able to execute that, because he couldn't kick it with his other foot because the angle wasn't there. So to execute it, I think. Did it nutmeg the player in front of him?
It did, yeah.
And then sort of curl.
Yeah, nutmeg Thomas Partey.
I think deliberate nutmeg as well. I just think absolutely outrageous. Nothing can top that.
I have a feeling Max has something that might top that.
I do have a different goal, but I do want to say, even as an Arsenal fan, I appreciated that. The fact that he's done it before as well. Like, it wasn't just something. It's something he obviously has worked on. And it was a great goal. Just 2-1, by the way, that game was 2-1 to Arsenal.
Yeah.
That's the only good thing you've done all season.
Yeah. No, but I went for Lanzini versus Spurs.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I went
because
for.
I think that goal meant so much as well in that moment, and I think also because the technique, like again, it was more the circumstance that made it so good. I just thought that goal was amazing.
I have gone for David for some. No, I'm joking. I've gone for a different taste. I've gone for Tanguy Ndombele's first goal against Sheffield United.
That was a great goal.
Where it was played over and with the outside of his foot, he just stretched and chipped it over the goalkeeper and put it right into the bottom corner. I thought that was a wicked goal. I think that is so. Not 9 times out of 10, the best players in the world struggle to do that, and the technique, the execution, the class, the control, the way the ball went over him and he still managed to put it into the back of the net. I just think, from a technical point of view, I think that is exceptional. So I went for a Tanguy and Ndombele. He scored another good goal in that game as well, but that for me was sumptuous. I thought that was an incredibly technically good goal. So I went for Tanguy and Ndombele versus Sheffield United.
Dave, as you didn't, so I went for the Lanzini one. You've now got to pick the winner between Lanzini or Lamella. Before you make your choice, I'll tell you what's on the line. Hold on. It is Kamil Grzycki. You know, that 33-year-old from West Brom.
That's both of their favourite player as well.
I'm going to go for Lamella because I think Lanzini, don't get me wrong, Lanzini, that was a great goal, but let's be honest, that's hitting hope. There's no, I don't think there's any technique to that. He's just hitting that as hard as he can. It's flown in. But Lamella, there's technique and control and skill, and I think that just makes that's the reason why it pips it for me. So I'd go Lamella.
Well, Lamella, you have won Kamil Grzycki, someone who played about 40 minutes, I think, in the Premier League this season. But 40 of the best minutes for West Brom, I would say.
It's nice to see a Spurs player going home with a trophy of some sort.
All right, so we come down to what? So we've got two sets of categories left, and these are the ones that we all want to see, I think. So we're going to start with, I think we'll start with best young talent first.
The next Jake Livermore.
No, Dave, we'll save the big one till after this one.
Oh, I see.
You've got to leave the important ones first. Right, the best young talent. Anyone want to go first on that one?
Can I go first?
Best young talent?
Who said? Who said first? Who said they want to go first?
Oh, can I go first? I think I know it's obvious, but it's got to be Foden, isn't it?
Oh
yeah.
Oh, I mean it's literally, it's not even close on that one.
It's unanimous. The guy's world class. He's class. He's unreal.
I think the difficult thing about this particular topic for me was trying to find someone other than Foden.
I think Mason Mount's a very close second. Don't get me wrong.
Mason Mount was up there in mine. I had Declan Rice on there as well.
Well, we all know Jack Grealish at 25 years old will still be there for the PFA Young Player of the Year award. So it was close with Jack Grealish for me.
I think you've got to put Saka in the mix as well. I think Saka.
Of course.
I don't think he's been as good. No one has been close to Foden. But I think without Saka, Arsenal have looked somehow worse.
Somehow worse. Do you mean some less worse?
Oh, what, without Saka we've looked...
Oh, without Saka. So
without Saka.
With Saka we've looked somehow worse.
Oh, yeah. He's been awful this year. No, I think... But I actually wrote down Phil Saka, which is the hybrid player we all want to see.
Well, that's funny because I put Bukayo Foden. So
you'll be amazed to know that I put Phil Saka or Bukayo, so Foden actually.
We're going to save the Jake Livermore Memorial Award for the end because that is the big one. That's what we all turn up for. I've actually got a 6'4" Jake Livermore Panini sticker from 2012. So we'll look forward to that one. But I thought we'd go for, and take this however you want, but the worst player of the season award.
Can I go for it?
Of course you can.
Shall I go?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's only got to be one. Got to be Rhian Brewster, innit, Sheffield United.
Oh, you nicked that off me, you jammy git.
No, I haven't. No.
We've done too many podcasts lately. You're not claiming Rhian Brewster
this season. It's shocking.
You're not claiming the idea that Rhian Brewster. You came up with that idea. Nah, get fucked, Tom. Nah. I was the one who mentioned Rhian Brewster. You had never even thought about him when I said Rhian.
Excuse me, you don't know that.
When I said Rhian Brewster on one of our lockdown walks, you went, "Oh yeah, that's a really good idea. He's been rubbish." So don't you dare think about claiming this award for you.
Come on. All right, we'll both claim it then.
I did think about Brewster, but I haven't gone for him.
Go on, Tom.
I'm a bit scared to say
analyse your opinion, Tom.
Huh?
Analyse your opinion on Rhian Brewster, Tom. Why is he the worst player in the Premier League this year?
He's been shit.
Because like all he said, he's shit. Because he's meant to be like obviously Liverpool and like Sheffield United signed him for 25 million. He's done fuck all. He's done absolutely nothing. I mean, like he doesn't get in the team, and obviously you got to give it a chance. He's done shit all on the pitch, so he's been honestly the flop of the season without a shadow of a doubt. There's just not much words really. He hasn't filled to his potential. And he's 21 years of age, and the fact that he can't do it on like for Sheffield United goes to show what a shit show he is.
I agree, but can I just say that everything that Thomas said, I said on a lockdown walk about 3 months ago.
Oh, whatever.
He's written it all on a bit of paper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I didn't mention mine on a lockdown walk, but I wish I did now. But I've gone for. I'm sorry, I feel this one's been attacking Max so much, but I've gone for Aubameyang.
That is interesting though.
I thought you said you weren't mentioning Arsenal again.
That was David. I never said anything about not mentioning Arsenal.
Honestly, don't worry. I'm about to mention him.
But yeah, I mean, someone who, Arsenal could play really shit against Burnley, but Aubameyang would always run around every single one of our players, nutmeg Jeff Hendrick 50 times and still find a goal. I wasn't even sure if he. Well, I know he played in the first one because he scored the best goal of the season for us. He's been so non-existent this season for someone who has literally existed for so long. Do you know what I mean? And I've just been disappointed for a player that I enjoy watching so much for a team I really don't like.
Undoubtedly, if there was a disappointment of the season, or like an underwhelming of the season, it would have to go to Aubameyang. I totally agree because he's so much better than what he's shown. So much better. I wonder if it's a contract or something like that.
Can I ask Max? Do you think it's the fact that he's captain?
It might have something to do with the 350k a week we gave him. No, I don't know. Honestly, I think to put it all on Aubameyang is. I think with players behind him, I think he's a much different player. He's not, as Ollie said, against Burnley, anyone can run through and nutmeg Jeff Hendricks. I reckon I could do it. But he was always for us quite a big game player. He would always be our player that comes up when Arsenal don't look like scoring. He would always come up and get that goal. We haven't had that at all this season. Whether the fact that he's captain, I think personally, as an Arsenal fan, I don't think that matters because I think everyone at Arsenal knows he doesn't wear the armband, but Granit Xhaka is the captain. He just can't wear the armband anymore because of what he did.
It doesn't fit his arm anymore.
Exactly. He's lost his arm horribly.
He's got a Roman now, isn't he, Xhaka?
Yeah, I saw that today. That's disappointing because I like Xhaka.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Was that a joke? Was that you going for funniest moment of the season?
No.
I like Xhaka. I remember that fucking Photoshop of someone changing the cricket field end at Burnley to the Granit Xhaka stand.
Go on, Sean.
Yeah, go on.
So I've gone for Joe Linton. That guy is awful.
Oh, God.
I don't even.
Yeah, but when he plays against us, he's world class.
His goal record for a forward is just. I mean,
£40 million.
If you combine David's goals and Alisson Becker's goals, you've got. I think you've got the same amount of goals as what a centre forward scored this year. I don't watch Newcastle much because they're quite a dour watch, but just to look at that record, it's like he's like the modern day Shane Long, and it's just appalling.
He makes Shane Long look good.
Yeah.
Let's not go that far, but yeah, I get your point. Yeah.
What about another guy that should be contender worst player of the season? What about Willian?
That's my guy. That's who I got.
Oh, he's been shocking.
Oh my!
He's been shocking. Honestly, why? He's been absolutely awful.
Yeah, you're welcome, Max.
I made a pledge at the start of this season that I would not get angry at Arsenal. I would not let them ruin my weekends like I did the season previous. I genuinely believe Willian was a test from God. That guy was something else. He got 3 assists on the first day, and I was thinking, that's a bit of a steal there. Like, not much money. honestly, I would have paid to send him back.
He didn't have another goal involvement until
I don't know if you
the end
watch
of
like
January.
Arsenal. I don't know if you watch Arsenal fan TV watch-alongs, but when you see like Willian playing on the pitch and like Arsenal fans proper going into like, why is he playing? He's shit. Go back to Chelsea. Go back to Chelsea. Honestly, you see like you obviously Troops from Arsenal fan TV. I think it was so funny. I think he went on a huge rant about him against like I think Southampton when he was playing. I was like, I've never hated a player like I've never hated a player like you in my life. And I'm like, bloody hell! Like it's to hear like reactions of how like obviously Willian on the pitch, he was so funny.
I mean, I think this guy was so bad. I think everyone knew he was doing bad, but having to actually watch him for 90 minutes every single week was painstaking. Like he didn't look up for it at all. I don't know. Honestly, just speaking about him, actually thinking about. My sister felt sorry for him. Did you hear? I'm being shouted at. I think William's in my house.
Are you talking shit about me?
Oh my God, is Willian here?
Yeah, he is.
And like he's no, he's a bit shy. He's a bit shy. Okay, see you later, William. Yeah, all right. No, no, that sticker's gone, mate. No, don't worry about it. But no, honestly, that guy was painstaking to watch. I cannot wait for him to leave. Like, I think he's going. I mean, why would you want to stay? There's rumours that he wants to go back to Chelsea.
Nah, mate, you can keep him, mate. We don't want him.
Oh God.
I'm just glad that no one put Firmino in their team, especially you, Ollie.
Well, I didn't want to take him for he's my pick for my best player of the year.
Their player.
Sean, if there was a category for best player of the universe.
Yeah, I know. Especially after his goal against Burnley the other way.
Yeah, it was poetic justice at his point.
I was at work and I didn't really put two and two. Obviously, I saw that Firmino scored, but I didn't really put two and two together with the whole Burnley connection. And then you send that message of I don't want to hear a word from you. And I was like, oh, yeah, just burst out laughing. Yeah.
I had to go into work the next day where all three of my bosses are all Liverpool season ticket holders. And I literally fucking slagged off Firmino the whole day before that. And all I heard, they changed my desktop thing to a picture of Bobby Firmino.
Oh.
And we've come down to our final two awards. We're going to start off with the less... Oh, no, wait, I didn't give... Wait, who won that one? Aubameyang, wasn't it?
No, Brewster and Aubameyang got two.
Oh. Well, we'll go with Brewster because he's getting relegated. You've won as Xherdan Shaqiri, where his head looks really fat. So you enjoy that, Ryan Brewster. It's the only thing that you've scored this season. Right, so we have got the second biggest award of the night, the best player of the season. And I'm going to go first because I edit the podcast, so
Dwight McNeil.
my choice. I've gone with someone in a season where I don't think anyone was amazing, but a lot of players were really, really good. If that makes sense. I've gone with someone to make the conversation a bit more interesting. Someone who really decided that he actually did know how to play football and he wasn't just a sideway passer. And I don't think in a season that's been really hard for all teams, there's only one player that's constantly dug his team out of trouble, and for me, that's Ilkay Gundogan. And I just think he's been phenomenal. And I can't believe there are actually pundits who get paid, who haven't even put them in their team of the season. It's criminal.
That's a great shout. That is a really good shout.
For me personally, I know I agree. I think he's had a great season, but for me, I can't look past Harry Kane. I think he's proved to me this year that he's not only the best goal scorer in the world, he's the best striker in the world. Like his all-round game has improved so much, and the most assists in the Premier League, most goals, and I just think his gameplay is so much better. Harry Kane used to go missing, even when I never forget me and Tom went to watch Tottenham v Everton, and he was non-existent. he scored 2 goals and had one world-class save from Pickford in that game. He could have had a hat-trick, and he did absolutely nothing for the whole game. And when when it wasn't going right for Tottenham in previous seasons, Harry Kane would go missing. But this season, that's just changed so much. And I agree with Gundogan. I think Foden's had a great season. I think he's got to be up there. I think Souček's had a wonderful season. I think, there's other players that you can throw in there as well. Ruben Dias, I think, has had an exceptionally good season. But for me, I don't think there is actually even a close second to Harry Kane.
David, you're giving such passionate speeches today. And then I've been like, Aguero!
I heard he got all his speeches on a lockdown walk, which was.
It's all these podcasts, mate.
I'm genuinely quite interested in this with the Harry Kane thing. As a Spurs fan, Tom, do you want to see him move? Does he deserve it? Like, is it okay to let him go, kind of thing?
Well, I think with Harry Kane, obviously I would love him to stay and all that, but obviously because now we still haven't won a trophy this season and our trophy hoodoo goes on, I think he's obviously proved in these past few years with Spurs what a good player he is, and I feel like now if he wants to really do himself on the big stage, I think Kane, if he does move on, I'll obviously be very sad, but I'll be happy for him in a way that obviously if he goes to a team like Man City, for example, he'll have a good chance of winning trophies there. Whereas for us, obviously it depends if we invest in the summer, because we've got a really bad chairman at the moment. We really need to really invest in our squad, but obviously now with Harry Kane, I think obviously he does lift us a lot, and without Harry Kane, I don't know where we'd be without him. Well, we could be losing him next season now, but I think if he wants to fulfill his potential and win trophies, I don't think Spurs could be the club for him, like in the next season or so, because obviously it depends if we invest or not, and if we don't invest and then we sell Kane, then we're fucked. So I think obviously Kane wants to fulfill his potential. Yeah, I think he probably will move on, and I think it will be a good move if he does leave Spurs and to win other trophies. So yeah, I think it would be a good move for him, but I will be sad at the same time if he goes.
It's kind of like
I've also for Harry Kane as well. Just a phenomenal footballer.
He's my player of the season, by the way, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, there's just no way.
I was going to say, if you gave that big speech and didn't give it to him.
I think El Nenny's had a great year.
He's always been a goal scorer. He's always been like in the running for the Golden Boot. But I think this year he's shown another side to his game with the assists, with the dropping back into like the number 10 role at times as well, and like being the best player on the pitch regardless of all the goals. I've not seen that from him in previous. So I'm going to be really interested to see what happens. Now I think he will leave Spurs. Unfortunately for them, I think he could end up at Man City. I think he could end up at Man City. I think they're going to go, as we discussed before, I think they're going to go for one of him or Haaland. And I think they'll go for Kane, personally.
I'm sure you've all heard about, obviously, we're holding talks with Poch.
That's a last gasp to keep Kane, isn't it?
That's what I'm going to ask you guys. If Poch does become our manager, will Harry Kane stay?
No, he's been there, done that. He's not.
No.
I think
it could pursue Kane to stay, but Pochettino obviously was at Spurs for 5 years, didn't win us a trophy. But obviously now he's won trophies now at PSG. But obviously, if he's going to be the manager there with the same squad, we're not going to win anything, are we? Let's be honest.
I think there comes a point where, as a player, your mind's made up. I think it almost gets to a point where, regardless of any like promises, anything that could happen, you've just got to take the bull by the horns and move on. And I think that's the situation that Kane's in now, because there's always, you would have thought the same when Mourinho came in, that okay, like Mourinho, yeah, he's won trophies before. Maybe we'll see it out. Maybe he'll see out and see what happens if he can win something. Didn't happen. Now they're going back to Poch, who, albeit is a great manager, got them to a Champions League final, but they still didn't win anything. And I just think if he really wants to win stuff regularly, I think he's just got to take the ball by the horns and make that move.
Also, I think Harry
I
Kane.
don't want him at City, but could happen.
Harry Kane will never have another summer where so many big clubs are looking for a striker. Like this is the window for him to go, because you got Man City, Man United, Chelsea, potentially Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. I know Lewandowski's still there and Benzema vice versa, but they're at the end of their times, so they'll be potentially looking. Got Barcelona maybe looking. There's so many clubs.
Maybe they are looking.
Well, they are looking, but there's so many clubs at the moment, so many big clubs that are in the market for a striker. And I think there will never be another window where he'll have so many options as to where to go. It's almost his choice where he goes. And I think, actually, I'm not just being biased here, I genuinely think there is a big chance that he could. I don't think he will, but I think there's a huge chance he could go to Chelsea, because we were saying last night, Tom, Levy ain't sentimental, and Chelsea are the only club that I think have got the balls to go and put in 150 million for Harry Kane. Yeah. City don't do that. Man United, with the Glazers, they're not going to spend that amount of money on him. So I think there's a big chance that Chelsea could be the only club that fork out the big money for him. And Levy's not going to sit there and go, that's Chelsea. Levy wants all the money he can get. Levy would sell to Chelsea. There's no doubt about that in a million years. It's whether Kane would go. And if Chelsea are the only option for Kane, I think he'd go instead of staying at Tottenham.
I just can't imagine Kane in a Chelsea shirt. I honestly just can't imagine. I can't imagine it.
I can't imagine many t-shirts, to be honest. Can I just say another going back to the most embarrassing thing? Financial fair play, fucking joke. What's the point of it? Absolutely. But we come on to the. Is everyone
Ollie, I'm really sorry.
Did I interrupt you?
No, I've got to give my best player just because it's so. Everyone has chosen.
Sorry, Matt, did I interrupt?
Actual good players. But I've been really selfish. And I know Arsenal have been slated on here the whole time I've been here. But my best player, simply because he makes me happy week in, week out, and he's one of the few players that makes me proud to be an Arsenal fan now.
Don't say Kieran Tierney.
It is Kieran Tierney.
Oh, here we go.
The best Scottish left-back in the league.
Oh, absolutely not.
No, absolutely not.
It's still on March because it's the Tierney month.
Yeah, I like how you were scared to say best Scottish fullbacks. Phil Bardsley's still in the Premier League.
I'm sorry, it's only because he wears short sleeves tops in cold winter countries. And everyone's like, oh, look how brave Tierney is with his short sleeve shirt on. He's so amazing.
Look, I just think, again, I know he's not the best player in the league. I know he's not been the best player in the league this season. I think he's just the only player in that Arsenal team that is genuinely watching that guy and seeing the.
If we're going on this logic, Max, Eric Peters would have won every award so far.
Well, Eric Peters don't tuck his shirt in and wear short sleeves in Slovakia, does he, Ollie?
So... It might be next season.
But no, another shout I won't have for it, because every single time I watch him play, I don't know much about him. He's obviously linked with a lot of clubs at the moment. I think Basuma's had a really good season as well. If you're looking at smaller players in teams where they kind of
Dan Burn, who's a bigger player, right, Max?
He's my big player of the season. Most embarrassing big player of the season could only go to one. But no, and Basuma I think has been really good. But other than that, Ruben Diaz for me.
Oh, that's a good shout. No one even mentioned Ruben Diaz.
I mentioned Ruben Diaz.
Oh, did you? Like I said, no one even mentioned Ruben Diaz. But I think, I was going to say unanimously, but it wasn't. But Harry Kane has got it. And I said, I saved the big prizes till last. And we've mentioned him so often. But Steve Mandanda is coming your way, Harry Kane.
Oh, fair play. He deserves it this season as well. He's been quality.
Round of applause, Harry. Round of applause.
Well done, Harry.
So we do come to It's been a great night, by the way. I've had a nice time. But it could only get better, I think. And we have finally the Jake Livermore Award. And I imagine, like, if this was on a stage, like, all the lights would go down. It'd be really dramatic. But obviously we don't have that. We can't afford that. Like, with the pandemic and all that. But let me talk about Jake Livermore. There's just no better representative of England. Gareth, Roy, they all loved him. Steve loved him. I love him. He's such an icon in the world of football. Hull loves him. Hull don't love many things. And the only way that I can describe this award is someone who's followed in it or following in his legacy. And I'd like to start by throwing in my nomination for the Jake Livermore Award. Someone who, in a team full of stars, both international under-21s and in an underperforming team in the Premier League this season, he was the worst player at the under-21s Euros this season. I don't think he made a successful pass. I don't think he could even shit himself if he tried. I'm not actually adamant that he's from this century. I think he's definitely from the 1800s with that hairstyle. This might class as bullying at this point, but we'll go with it. I've gone for Tom Davis, who is, in my eyes, Jake Livermore 3.0 behind Harry Winks.
Unbelievable, shout that.
And I'm happy to admit that if he wins, he will win this Stuart Armstrong sticker that I'm holding in my hand. But that is my nomination for the Jake Livermore Award 2021.
That's a good shout.
Good shout.
Thank you. I feel like I've just done one of David's passionate speeches.
That's hard to disagree with, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
I've got one that I think.
Go on.
I was up there. I think I don't even know how old this guy is anymore. But everyone talks about him being still a young player with so much potential. I feel like he's been that for like 6-7 years. This guy just gets hailed by pundits. He gets hailed by fans because he has one attribute to his game, and just because he's got that, everyone loves him. Yeah, he had an all right season last year, but for me, if there was an award for the most overrated player in the Premier League at this moment in time, and the rightful winner of the Jake Livermore Award, in my opinion, the winner can only go to Adama Traore. I just think he's just got pace. And how many times do I?
But David, he puts baby oil on.
I'm going to reenact an Adama Traore attack. Adama Traore gets the ball. He runs with the ball. He tries to kick the ball into the box, falls over. Martin Tyler goes. He's just so quick. It's so hard to deal with him. Well, you don't need to deal with him because he just kicks the ball out. I'm sorry. He's flattered to deceive. He had an average season last year, and it's only because he put in a handful of good crosses instead of kicking it out last year a few times. Is that why he got the league credits last year? I just think he's the rightful winner of this award for me, in my opinion. Adama Traore.
I mean, it's a big award, and we're throwing some real big names out there, and I appreciate you being honest about that, Dave. Anyone else want to throw a name in there?
I think I've got one. So when I watch him on the pit, when I watch him live on TV, I just don't see what he produces with this team. Like, I feel like he gives the ball away a lot. I just feel like he doesn't create much. He's not a goal. He plays in midfield, but I just feel like obviously when you're playing in midfield, you want to create a bit more creativity. But I feel like this guy doesn't, and I think obviously these fans, obviously for their club, I don't think they rate him either. But this might be an interesting one. But I've gone for Fred of Manchester United. Yeah. I think honestly he's overrated as hell. He gives the ball away way too much. He's just I think he's awful, Fred. To be honest, I really think he's awful. Like, I can't think of one decent game he's had at United since he's been a United player. And why Solskjaer plays him a lot, I just don't know. I mean, obviously that he didn't play last night because when you see McTominay play for Manchester United last night,
McTominay was brilliant.
He was probably one of their best players, and I'm thinking why doesn't he? Why doesn't he play McTominay and Pogba together and put drop Fred and Fred will be on the bench where he belongs.
You know
So,
what? If we'd done an underrated player of the season award, it would have gone to McTominay, I'm sure.
yeah, honestly, McTominay. I watched him last night, and I've got to say he was probably one of their best players last night, along with probably Greenwood as well. But I think McTominay was the only player that was trying to get United to play with more free, attacking, fluency. But Fred, for me, I just don't see what's good about him. I really don't. I think I watch him. I'm thinking I think when he's on the ball, I just feel like he doesn't know what to do with it. He's like, oh, what do I do? I've given it away now, and I just feel like he's just not a confident guy on the ball. So I just don't see what he delivers on the pitch. So yeah, Fred wins the Jake Livermore award for me.
No, that was
I've
great
got a shout.
choice.
Yeah, I can't deny that.
I've got a shout, and I think this is gonna. I think this again is gonna be really, really controversial.
You can't give it to Bielsa.
No, I think it's a guy who.
Bobby Firmino.
Oh my god, you scared the life out of me.
It's a guy who's been around a while, who's sort of been a young English player. Like, he's a striker. He scored a few goals over the years. Never had like a spectacular goal record, but he started this season really, and everyone was saying, "Oh, like he's finally turning into this great player, this great centre." And I've gone for Calvert-Lewin.
Oh no!
I just
Really?
I just think he's overrated. I really do.
Just because he plays for Everton, basically.
Well, there is that. I mean, yeah, I can't pretend that doesn't come into it. But I've never seen anything to make me go like, wow, like what a player. Everyone's going, oh, like Calvert-Lewin is the next best striker after Kane. And to be honest, I'd put Danny Ings in front of him. I'd put Ollie Watkins in front of him. I'd put Patrick Bamford all in front of him. I really would. And for me, he's a good player, but you know, what is he? He's like 23, 24 now, and he's not done a lot in his career. Everyone thought he was going to be like the player of the year this year. He wasn't. He was probably player of the month at the start of the year, but that doesn't win you trophies. And that's the other thing. Everton are always this team where at the start of the season, they're like, oh, these guys, they're going to win the league. They're going to finish.
Surely Ancelotti must have been close for worst manager of the season.
Yeah, like they're just always up there. They're always considered to be one of the best teams, and they're just never doing anything. And I think that he's like for me, he's like a symbol for that. Calvert-Lewin.
Right.
No, I knew that would get a reaction.
Kind of going off that, I actually, in defence of Calvert-Lewin, my Jake Livermore award goes to someone who I didn't even know he was this old at this point. Mine goes to Alex Iwobi.
That's a great show.
That guy, Alex Iwobi, has made 30 appearances this season. He has 1 goal. He has 2 assists. Everyone used to, back when he was an Arsenal player, people used to rave about him, saying, oh, this Iwobi lad, he's going to be big. After about a season, people begin to clock on. He was just Danny Welbeck in disguise. The guy, whenever I watch him, he does not look like a footballer. He is what you said about Fred. Actually, he never looks comfortable on the ball. I don't know what he actually brings to play. He's been playing left wing back quite a bit this season in his defence, but also
he has been playing in his defence as a left wing back.
Yeah. In defence, he can't play in defence. He's honestly, this guy. I don't think he's even good enough to be playing in a top level Premiership side. I don't think he's even good enough for a mid-table side. I personally think he's awful, and that is exactly why he's Jake Livermore.
That's a really good shout, actually.
Right. So what I've done, because we've all picked someone different, I've put all the names in a random generator. And whoever comes out wins the Stuart Armstrong sticker for the Jake Livermore Award. Are you ready? Right. And the winner of the Jake Livermore Awards 2020-2021. I was beaten a little bit. Is Adama Traore.
Get in there!
Oh.
He's now got the chance to defend that crown for another year. As we come back, we're going to get this Stuart Armstrong sticker covered in baby oil, and I'm looking forward to that.
I love that. I love that. Get in there.
I mean, what would be an absolute nightmare is if, come next season, one of these players that has an absolute blinder, Iwobi, goes on to win the league.
Best Player of the Season award next year.
I hate to say it, it's Kieran Tierney again. But
Can we actually? I want to do a final question. Who do you think is going to be the player of the season next year?
Oh,
Ooh.
Sean?
Oh my word.
Firmino.
I'm gonna go for Kylian Mbappe in the Premier League.
Oh.
Who for? Don't know who for, but I'm gonna go for Kylian Mbappe. I hope it's wearing red on Merseyside.
Is he going to play for Barnsley?
yeah.
Oh, they got knocked out, didn't they? Brentford.
Yeah.
They're not Merseyside, are they, Ollie?
Well, they
I
moved,
said
can't
red
they?
in Merseyside.
Oh, well, I didn't hear that. You should have made it more clear.
I must have mumbled it.
Tom?
No, you're saying Mbappe. I'm going to go Erling Haaland for Man City.
Oh, here we go.
Because I think you'll go. I think honestly, like, I know obviously Kane might be going to City, but obviously with this transfer thing, you just never know. Obviously, if City like want to go on all in for Erling Haaland, I really do think he would light up the Premier League and he'll bang in the goals. And I'll go for Haaland of Man City.
Max?
Well, seeing as we're all doing a little bit of a hopeful one, I'm going to go for Lionel Messi for Man City. I think it's possible. I still think it's possible. Actually, I think it's more likely than him re-signing for Barcelona.
Ollie?
Wow. There's only one person it could be.
Eric Peters?
Ha 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 ha. That's for Man City.
No way.
Haaland. Do you know what? I'm going to stick my neck out on the line here really, really badly. Okay. I know I'm going to get shut down in this podcast.
Oh, don't say Timo Werner.
I'm not saying Timo Werner.
Oh, thank God for that. I would have killed you
Jesus.
otherwise.
Yeah, the Jake Livermore Award 20.
That would have been a great shout. Oh my god.
I'm going to go Kai Havertz. I think Havertz is looking a bit more hungry. I think with a pre-season behind him, Timo Werner's teaching, definitely not Timo Werner's teaching. Thomas Tuchel's teaching. I think he is going to come good, and I'm going to stick my neck out on the line. And if it pays off, then people look back and think I'm a genius. And if it doesn't, then I'll just blame the alcohol. But I'm going to go for Kai Havertz.
Well, if he doesn't, then he'll be getting a sticker in the post for the Jake Livermore Award.
He'll be getting his match tax because there's no international tournament. Oh, do you think they'll do Europa Conference cards? Stickers?
Oh my god, what is there a more depressing sticker book?
Yeah, when they used to do those EFL ones, maybe. Well, that is all we got time for on the 2020-2021 first annual 442 Metres Apart Awards. It has been an absolute pleasure to have a Chelsea fan, a Firmino fan, a Jose Mourinho fan, and a Barnet fan, and an Eric Peters fan. Has anyone got any final words?
Cheers, boys. That was brilliant. Loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was really good, really good.
Good fun.
And we're gonna win the Euros, aren't we, guys? Aren't we, guys?
No.
Yeah.
That means no.
But Chelsea are going to beat City.
Come on. Oh, yes. Come on.
No, City are going to be too
That's
strong
all
for Chelsea.
Not
That's
a
what we should
chance.
all want.
Oh,
City
but we
are
love
gonna-
argumentative banter to end the podcast.